Today we'll be making that mouth-watering moist chocolate cake. Beginners friendly. Stay to the end. Without oven. Yes, you heard me right, without oven. Watch to the end to learn. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining. So for the ingredients, we will be needing granulated sugar, we also need all-purpose flour. Make sure it's fresh, not the one that stayed for long. We also need unsweetened cocoa powder. Please make sure it's unsweetened. We don't need chocolate like the Milo. Make sure it's unsweetened. Ask the people selling and they will give you that. You'll be also needing baking powder. Make sure the baking powder is still active. We also need baking soda or bicarbonate. That's another name, bicarbonate. Please do check the description box for accurate ingredient measurements. We need salt. You also be needing 2 large eggs, then a cup of milk or 240 ml. We will also be needing vegetable oil. If you're in Nigeria, make use of King's oil. It's very good for baking. It doesn't have taste, it's just like water. You also be needing vanilla flavor. So let's now talk about our measurements. You'll be needing the following tools: your sieve, the wooden spoon, then your measuring cups and spoon. Before you start baking, you have to have these things. It's not expensive. I've been using this my own for like 10 years now. Before we start measuring, let's get our measurements accurately, because good baking comes from accurate measurement. Make sure to flatten your sugar as seen on the screen. We are going to be measuring 2 cups of sugar or 400 grams. So in baking, you measure different ingredients different ways. Just follow the demonstration on the video to see how you could measure your sugar, your flour, and whatever you're using for the baking. Please do check the description box for the accurate measurements. The measurements in cups and in grams will be given on the description box in case it's scale you have or you still have this measuring cup, so that you could get the accurate measurements. So watch how you measure your flour. You measure it by putting it gently or slightly in the cup. You don't pressure it. If you pressure it, you're going to get a wrong measurement. Please follow the demonstration if you really want to get this moist chocolate cake. We normally need to sieve our flour so that we'll get it airy. We make the cake airy and soft, and also to remove any kind of dirt in the flour. But in this case, I'm just sieving because I wanted to make sure that the flour was neat. In this chocolate cake, we don't really need the cake being airy. It's a one mix cake. You just mix everything together and it's already a soft cake, as we'll see later in this video. No mixer needed. Just mixing with a spatula or spoon or whatever. So for the unsweetened cocoa powder, we're going to be measuring 3/4 cup or 75 grams. So let me now tell you how to measure this. We're going to be looking for the cup that is 1/4. 1/4 is written on the cup. Then we're going to be measuring it 1, 2, 3 into 3 places. That is 3/4. I hope I am understood. Please do check for accurate measurements on the description box. That's where you will see. You can screenshot this. We'll be needing 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. When you're measuring, also flat. Anytime you measure, make sure it's flat on the spoon. So we also be needing 1/2 spoon of salt. You will also be adding 1.5 spoon of bicarbonate. 1.5 spoon of bicarbonate to this. Then you mix together all the dry ingredients. When you're done mixing, you make a hole in the middle while we start adding the wet ingredients. Nothing so serious about this cake. It's so simple for chocolate lovers. If you've watched to this stage, which means you're loving our recipe, thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for lovely videos like this. Now let's start adding our wet ingredients. We'll start with our 2 large eggs. We're also adding our 1 cup milk or 240 ml. Now let's add our vanilla flavor. We're going to be adding 1.5 teaspoons. I normally use the Foster Clark vanilla flavor. I love the taste in my baking. We're going to be using 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. When we're done with adding all these wet ingredients, we'll now mix everything together. Remember, don't be so hard on cake. I was doing fast forwarding here. Please be gently anytime you're dealing with cake. Be gentle. Cake is a baby, so you gently turn. I didn't mention in the beginning that we'll be using 1 cup or 240 ml of warm water or coffee for this chocolate. So when we are through with mixing, we are going to pour very hot water and now mix everything together, and our cake batter is ready to be baked. So when you're through with pouring this hot water, please make sure you mix this cake very well. That's why I'm taking time to show you the clip so that you will know how this batter is supposed to. Remember that when you're mixing, always be gentle with your cake. Just remember, if you want a soft cake, then you have to really be gentle with the mixing of your cake. Now let's talk about the pan and the lining of this cake. This cake is a very moist and soft cake, so you really need to line your pan with baking sheet or parchment paper or whatever. Or if you have plain sheets at home, you could substitute for that, Make sure you line this pan. If not, it will not come out. Just make sure you line your pan properly, just as seen demonstrated on the screen. I also had to add a little bit of butter around the pan so that it allowed me line the papers around the pan easily. Please make sure to stick this parchment paper properly on the pan. If not, there might be problem while baking that will make it difficult for you to remove your cake in one piece. So when you're through with arranging your parchment paper on your pan, you now pour in your cake batter. Let's now talk about, while baking with the pot, we have to reduce our light very small as seen. So now let's talk about the baking proper. We're going to be using empty pot. Please, empty pot. I'm just using a container. Then I'm going to be preheating it. Just use the demonstration. Don't add sand. Sand is going to spoil your pot and it's going to put horrible taste in your cake. When we preheat our pot and notice it's hot, we're going to be putting in our cake batter. Then cover it. The pot to use is always the taller pot. It's better. So I baked like 1 hour, 10 minutes or so. We don't need to be opening our pot. We just allow it to done. And when it's done, we use a toothpick. When it comes out neatly, we know our cake is done. So our chocolate cake is all. Also, when our cake starts pulling out from the edge, as we can see, it's also a sign that the cake is done. So we allow it to cool down. Then before bringing out, remember I told you this cake is a very soft cake. You pet the cake. So this is all you need to know about your chocolate cake. Guys, it's so easy. I just did this step by step so that if you're a beginner that have not baked before, you could bake a wonderful cake. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please like my video, comment and subscribe to the channel. See you in my other videos. Bye.